Hi there! Now, every conceivable type of drug, if used excessively, is harmful. Even excessive amounts of vitamins or water are harmful. And it's often wise to completely abstain from all drugs, even aspirin, unless they are needed. Admittedly, the self-administering of popular drugs such as alcohol, caffeine, marijuana, and tobacco have been used by many people in moderation for years, while allowing them to live a normal life expectancy and allowing them to live successful lives. However, there are drugs that must never be self-administered in any quantity without a prescription. To do so automatically constitutes dangerous abuse. Actually, I have a problem with calling them drugs, as the word drug is used for too many wildly different substances with wildly differing potencies. Drug simply means a substance used as a medication that produces a biological effect. It makes me think of casually purchasing items at Walgreens drugstore. A better word for what I'm talking about here is narcotic. Chief among them are every type of opioid. The word opiate used to have center stage, since opiate only refers to natural substances that can be extracted from the flowering opium poppy, and synthetic versions were not yet invented. All opiates are opioids, but not all opioids are opiates. The word opioids now has center stage, since an increasing percentage of them are synthetic. This makes today's opioid crisis worse than yesteryear's, since we now have both natural and synthetic types to contend with, while they only contended with natural types. The word opioid and the word narcotic are almost synonymous. I myself obtained a prescription for a relatively weak narcotic after a work accident where my fingers got crushed in a punch press, and no refills. It was more than enough to do the job. Some prescribed opioids to take at home include codeine, Demerol, tramadol, morphine, hydrocodone, and Percocet. The most powerful among them is OxyContin, brand name for oxycodone. An oxycodone prescription could benefit some people as long as they're not given more than needed. However, some unscrupulous doctors have authorized unnecessary prescriptions or more refills than the patient needs in order to make more money. This has caused many people to be addicted. Some have even turned to stronger street opioids when they could no longer get more prescriptions to feed their addiction. Then there are opioids that are too strong for any home prescription. They must additionally be administered by licensed medical staff. They include heroin, hydromorphone or Dilaudid, and oxymorphone. They are only appropriate for situations such as hospital patients undergoing surgery or recovering from surgery, some such as open heart surgery or brain surgery, someone dying from painful cancer, and such like. They also include methadone and butrans or buprenorphine. They are only appropriate as a substitute for more dangerous and addictive narcotics like heroin in order to beat a heroin or similar addiction. But even these are far more addictive than alcohol or tobacco. Don't be fooled by gross misinformation on the internet that tries to put them in the same class. In fact, any self-administering of these stronger opioids from a street dealer amounts to poisoning yourself. Used in that way, they become poison. In that context, they are poison. They are generally 100 times more addictive than alcohol or tobacco, which are badly addictive by themselves, making it impossible for anyone to quit by themselves. They will cut the user's life expectancy in half or only 1/3 if the addict does not get help. Such a narcotic used in that way will destroy the addict physically, mentally, and spiritually. The addict essentially becomes the equivalent of a zombie or demon-possessed person. Worse yet, the addict is still responsible for their own actions, and it's a far more painful experience. A 23-year-old woman from North Carolina, USA, committed suicide. Along with her body was this anti-23rd Psalm. It read, "King Heroin is my shepherd, I shall always want. He makes me to lie down in the gutters. He leads me beside the troubled waters. He destroys my soul. He leads me in the paths of wickedness. Yes, I shall walk through the valley of poverty and will fear no evil. For you, heroin, are with me. Your needle and your capsule comfort me. You strip the table of groceries in the presence of my family. You rob my head of reason. My cup of sorrows runs over. Surely heroin addiction shall stalk me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the damned forever." She also wrote, "Jail didn't cure me, nor did hospitalization help me for long. The doctor told my family it would have been better and indeed kinder if the person who got me hooked on dope had taken a gun and blown my brains out, and I wish to God he had." End quotes. Yet unbelievably, there's a third type of narcotic out there that's 100 times more powerful than heroin and should never be used by any human, namely fentanyl and carfentanil. Not only is their street use a poison, it is chemical warfare. Even police who've apprehended fentanyl dealers have suffered near-fatal overdoses just from breathing in a tiny residue. Sometimes addicts think they're just buying heroin when they're buying fentanyl instead, or heroin mixed with fentanyl. In this same terrible category is crocodile, a cheaper narcotic mixed with either ethanol, gasoline, paint thinner, or other toxic chemical to make it much stronger. In addition to the catastrophic effects I've mentioned, crocodile physically destroys and eats the flesh off addicts' bodies, literally, making those who take longer to die from addiction literally look as bad as the worst movie Zombies. Such horrible pictures of those victims are found on the internet. As for statistics, misuse of opioids kills about 50,000 Americans per year, and several times more Americans each year, every year, suffer an extremely painful and miserable existence being enslaved to diabolical narcotic abuse. People from all 50 states, every Canadian province, and many other countries have suffered such fates. It has hit people in every type of area: city, isolated, rural, and suburban areas. Addicts have been black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, and every race or culture. Addicts are both male and female, rich and poor. Nobody is immune. There's more that must be explained, which I will address in a future video. Take care.